So today we are going to start a new unit that is on state space search, unit number 2, and in this unit we will be discussing how AI problems are solved, what are the steps, 4 important steps in solving a general AI problem. And in those 4 steps, the first step is your representation of problem in state space form. Many of the problems, most of the problems you will be able to solve by using state space representation of those problems and then applying appropriate AI technique on that. So we will be discussing this part today. First we will start with what is AI problem solving process in general, and then we will switch to state space representation of the problem, which is one of the initial step in problem solving process. And after that we will move to some of the AI problems which are discussed in his literature of AI, common AI problems, simpler AI problems. Most of them are puzzles, simple puzzles. And then we will switch to a state space representation of the problem, which is one of the step, as I told you, that is one of the AI technique. So state space search we are going to use on state space representation to find out solution of the problem. And then we will discuss uh, search analysis, how different search techniques they are analyzed along with several parameters. So this is how agenda of today's presentation. In last lecture we have discussed what an artificial intelligence is. We have started with that, and finally we ultimately completed that particular unit by discussing what are different AI agents. And now we are going to start afterwards. Okay. Any difficulty in the last class? If you have any difficulty, you can ask. I will give you 3 to 4 minutes in between this, then we will continue further. Do you have any difficulty in the last class, whatever we have discussed in unit number 1? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I have given you questions also, which we will have to solve at home. Okay, if there is no difficulty, then we will start further. We will start with the steps. First, we will discuss the important steps which we have to carry out while solving AI problems. So, whenever you are going to build any AI system, in most of the systems, you will find out you will have to go through this 4 steps. First step is you will have to define that problem precisely, and that's what we are going to discuss in today's lecture. That is state space representation of the given problem. Then second step is you will have to carry out analysis of the given problem along with different problem characteristics so that your problem solving will become easier, simpler, because we have seen that most of the AI problems they are different in nature, and these AI problems it is very difficult to find out one common method to solve these problems. But in spite of that, we have certain steps that has to be followed, and these are the 4 steps. So second step will be you will be analyzing that problem along with several problem characteristics, and if you analyze that, then you will get an idea how you are going to go about attempting solving that problem on computer. Third step is identify knowledge required and its representation. So knowledge is a integral central part of any AI system, and representation of that knowledge in your program, that is in computer, that is very important, because as a human being, as we have seen, we store knowledge in different form and computer stores that in zeros and ones form. So you will have to first identify what knowledge is required for the given problem in question, and then we will be thinking on how you are going to incorporate that knowledge into the system. Then fourth step is apply best problem solving technique for solving that problem. So what you are going to do, you are going to identify AI technique for solving that particular problem. So these are the common steps, major general steps which you will have to follow while solving any AI problem. So today what we are going to do, today we are going to discuss this step number one, that is defining your problem precisely. Right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now we will discuss what is state space representation of a given problem. Whenever we will have to solve problem on your computer which requires intelligence, that problem has to be represented in computer representable form so that system will understand, process and give you the desired output. So basically state space representation means representing your problem in computer understandable form. So which involves uh, these four things. First is you will have to define the state space containing all possible configurations of relevant objects. Now whenever we talk about a state space of a problem, state, what is the meaning of state? State always that is associated with time. So what we will have to do, we will have to represent the given problem situation in computer representable form, and that will be a state, that will be a set of states which will change over a period of time. So therefore we call it state space. So for example, if I call one of the state at S0, then another state is suppose S1, S2 and so on. So what is meaning of this? S0 for example, this might be your initial state. So this will be knowing to you, your problem solving process will start at time t0 and state will be S0. Then next state will be state S1 and that will be time t1, and at time t2 another state might be state S2. So S0, from S0 you may go to S1, from S1 you may go to S2 and so on up to Sn, where this Sn may be your final state at time Tn. So basically this set of states S0, S1, S2 up to Sn, this is called as state space, right? So what we will have to do, first thing is we will have to define the state space which will contain all possible configurations of relevant object. So first we are going to define a state for the given problem, and then you will be defining complete state space, that means all possible set of states for the given problem. We will see example of this, then this will be more clear. Then once you define set of states, second step will be specify one or more states within this state space. So set of states already we have defined. For example, set of states here that we have defined are S0, S1, S2 and S1. This is the set of states. So out of these states you will have to specify one or more states within that state space which will describe the initial problem solving situation. So what we are saying, that out of these states you will have to identify one or more states from which your problem solving process may start. For example, in this case it may be S0. So S0, you may say that it is the initial state from where problem solving process will start. So I will call that as initial state, or sometimes you may call that as start state. For a given problem, you may have one initial state or more than one initial states. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, you will be finding out one or more final states. So which is called as goal state, and then you are going to specify set of rules. So we will continue further. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
There was a
sir.
problem with one of the computer. Power server was having a meeting, so therefore I had to go. Sorry for
Yes,
that.
sir.
So we'll continue further. So we were discussing state space representation of a given problem. So I told you there are four different steps which you will have to carry out to define state space of a given problem, or to give state space representation of a given problem. So first step is you will have to define the state space which will contain all possible configurations of relevant objects. So first we will define the state, and then we will define the state space. And then second second step was, out of the states that you have defined in the state space, you will have to identify one or more step as a initial state. So that is called as start state or initial state. And then third step is, similarly you will have to define one or more steps as acceptable solution, and we call that as goal state or goal states. So out of this, as I told you, that Sn, if your Sn is a solution, then that can be the final state, and this final state uh, you are going to call that as a goal state. So here Sn will be the final state in this particular example. And once you have defined initial state and final state, then next step is you will have to define set of rules that will describe the actions that you are going to perform on the states to get the final state, right? So this is what state space representation of a given problem is. So in state space representation, again I am revising, you are going to define a state which is a computer representable form of a given problem, and state is always associated with a time, so that will constitute a state space. So set of states you are going to define, we are going to call that as a state space, and out of those states, some of the states will be initial states and some of the states will be the final states. So you are going to define initial state and final state or states. For some problem you may have one state as the initial state, or you can have more than one state as the initial state. And for certain other problems you may have set of states as a goal state, or there may be only one goal state. Then you are going to specify set of rules which will describe the actions or operators. So this set of rules, basically these are the rules of the particular uh, problem, or rules of the particular puzzle. If you are solving a puzzle or if you are solving a game, then that can be the rules of the game. So all this you are going to define set of rules, initial state and final state, depending upon the problem domain, or depending upon the type of problem that you are going to solve. So this is what state space representation of a given problem, right? So in state space representation you are going to define states, initial states, goal states and set of rules. How you are going to identify initial state and final states? We are going to identify initial state and final states or goal state from the problem, the problem that we are trying to solve. So from problem definition, you are going to identify initial state and final state. And again, that problem will have certain set of rules. You will have to use those rules. You have to incorporate those rules as operators. And these operators you are going to use for converting your initial state. For example, if S0 is the initial state, into final state. For example, if Sn is the final state. So we are going to convert this S0 initial state into final state Sn. And to convert this S0 into Sn, your problem may go through some intermediate states like S0 to S1, S1 to S2, S2 to S3, and so on like this. So from S0 you may go to S1, from S1 to S2, S2 to S3, and from S3 onwards finally you will reach to state Sn. Now how you are going to move from state S0 to S1? So for that purpose you are going to apply rule. So applicable rule you are going to choose, and you are going to apply that rule on this state S0. So it will convert that S0 into S1. So your current state will be S1 in that particular case. So S1 is not the final state or goal state which we want. So what we are going to do, again we are going to convert, we will try to convert this S1 into final state Sn. So again we are going to see the rules, which rule I can apply from the set of available rules. So I will apply appropriate rule on S1. So that may lead to state S2. Again you are going to check whether this S2 is a goal state. Yes, S2 is not a goal state because we know that Sn is a goal state. So therefore again you are going to process it in the similar way further. You are going to find out a rule which can be applied on this state S2, and then ultimately that rule may convert that into S3, and so on. At the end it will convert that into the state Sn. So this is the complete problem solving process which you are going to program, right? Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
you will find out now these things, they will change from one problem to the other problem. Like suppose consider this very widely discussed problem of water jug. Most of you might be knowing this problem. It's a puzzle. You in your childhood you might have worked on this puzzle, and this is called as a water jug problem. So such a simple problems are discussed in literature of AI. And first what we are going to do, since our course is a fundamental course, we are going to find out techniques for solving such a problems, easier problems which are discussed in literature of AI by using some programming language like Python programming language. So let us first find out what the problem is. Water jug problem is, here in water jug problem you have two jugs, jug A and jug B, water jug A and water jug B. For example, this is jug A, and another jug we have, that is jug B. Call it A, this is B. Each holds a certain number of gallons. So it has the capacity of holding the water. Initially both jugs are full, but we have an infinite supply of water, right? So initially assume that both jugs are full. So there might be a case initially both jugs are empty. So it's up to you how to define the initial state. So that doesn't matter much. So initially assume that both jugs are full. Now what you have to do, there are no measuring marks on these jugs. So no marks. That is also given to you. You cannot measure how much water these jugs hold. But you know that, suppose consider the specific case, jug A capacity is 4 gallon and capacity of jug B is suppose 3 gallon, right? This is given to you that first jug, it can hold 4 gallon of water or 4 liter of water, and second jug is holding can hold 3 gallon of water. Now problem is, given these two jugs 4 gallon and 3 gallon having no measuring marks on them, there is a pump that can be used to fill jugs with water. There is a pump, water pump is there, and this pump you can use to fill water into these jugs. Now your job is, how can you get exactly 2 gallons of water in 4 gallon jug? Now there are no measuring marks, but exactly what we want 2 gallon water in this 4 gallon jug. So how to do that? Problem is not very difficult. You might have solved this problem also in your childhood. But our job is here to represent this problem in computer representable form so that we can write a computer program, and then you can find out multiple solutions for this problem by executing that program. So how to solve this problem on computer, that is our job, and right now we are interested in how to define state space representation for this problem so that you can write a program, right? Understood what the problem is?
Yes, sir.
Two jugs are there. There are no marks on those jugs. 4 gallon and 3 gallon jugs. There is a pump with which you can pour water into the jugs. Initially jugs may be full or they may be empty. Your job is to fill exactly 2 gallon water into 4 gallon jug. So how can we do that manually? If you are solving this puzzle, then how to do that? Anybody? Or consider the case that both jugs are empty. So in that particular case, suppose uh, this is 4 gallon jug, and on this right hand side I will write water in 3 gallon jug. So both jugs are empty initially. So what we want ultimately, 2 gallon water in 4 gallon jug, and second jug, this 3 gallon jug may be empty or it may contain any amount of water. So how to do that? Yes. Anybody can give me an idea? There is a pump with which you can pour water into the jug. Because unless and until we are able to solve this problem manually, logically, you will not be able to find out technique that can be used for solving that problem on computer. So at least initially we must know how to solve it ourselves. Then only you can think of
Sir,
finding out. Yes, yes. Hmm.
first of all, 4 gallons, 3 gallon are empty.
Both are empty.
Then concept is the 3 gallon.
एक minute, just a minute. Both are empty, then
Put a 3 gallon water in.
yes, put 3 gallon water in.
Put 3
Okay,
put
that
a
means
3 gallon water in 3 gallon.
okay, fill 3 gallon jug completely. So there will be 3 gallon water in 3 gallon jug, and 4 gallon jug will contain zero water, so it will be empty. Then yes,
Put 3 gallon water in.
put 3 gallon water in.
Sir.
You are not audible. Yes. Anybody else?
3 पहिला जग होता ना सर आपण 3 गॅलन
So, okay, what we can do, we can have multiple different solutions for this problem. So, one way of doing this might be you may carry on working on this way. For example, you may fill 4-gallon jug and 3-gallon jug is empty. Then pour water from 4-gallon jug to 3-gallon jug. So 3-gallon jug will contain 3-gallon water and 4-gallon jug will contain 1-gallon water. Something like that. Yes. Then
देन 3 गॅलन जग आहे सर तो 4 गॅलन मध्ये टाकला सर.
oh, so it will be 0 and this will be again 4. So initial this state again you will get. Then
सर फर्स्ट स्टेप मध्ये दोघी 0-0 राहतील सर.
then
मग सेकंड मध्ये 3 जग जो आहे सर त्याच्यामध्ये 3 जग मध्ये वॉटर टाकलं सर तो 3
Okay.
होईल सर आणि 4 जो
3
राहील तो 0
okay,
राहील सर.
right.
त्याच्यानंतर जो 3 जग हे आहे सर तो 4 जग मध्ये टाकला तर मग त्याच्यामध्ये 3 येईल सर आणि 3 जग आहे तो एम्प्टी राहील सर.
Right. 3-0 then.
मग
Then
त्याच्यानंतर 3 जग मध्ये आपण परत 3 टाकलं सर.
okay, so this will be 3-3. Okay.
हा आणि सर मग 3 जग आहे ना सर तो 4 मध्ये टाकला सर.
So this will become 4 and this will become 2, right? Correct. So then you empty 4-gallon jug, so this will become 0-2 and then pour water from 3-gallon jug to 4-gallon jug, then you will get 2-0, right? Correct. So this is how one way you can solve this problem, one of the way you can solve this problem. So this is your goal state. You have 2-gallon water in 4-gallon jug that you have achieved and this is what we want. So in this way, now manually we have solved this problem. Somebody else may solve this in some other way also. So this problem has multiple solutions. Now if your job is to write a computer program for solving this water jug problem and you will have to return, program will return multiple solutions. Input to the program will be initial state. So initial state is your both jugs are empty, suppose in this case, and final state is 2-gallon water in 4-gallon jug. So this is one of the final state, right? So now let us try to define state space representation of this problem. Now what we will have to do while defining state space representation of this problem, you will have to represent water in 4-gallon jug and water in 3-gallon jug. So for that purpose, if you little bit think, you will find out that order pair you will have to define, and that ordered pair can be used for representing the state. So here what I can do, I can define two parameters, ordered pair xy, where this x will represent water in 3-gallon jug, water in 3-gallon jug, and this y will represent water in 4-gallon jug. Or reverse way also, let us follow the same convention that I have used earlier. First jug we will use for representing that 4-gallon water, and second jug y will represent water in 3-gallon jug, whatever convention you use. So ordered pair means order is important. First parameter will represent water in 4-gallon jug and second parameter will represent water in 3-gallon jug. So this is what the state that you have defined now for representing this water jug problem in computer representable form. Now second step is in state space representation, you will have to define one or more state as a start state. So again you will have to go back to the problem statement. What problem statement says? Both jugs are full, but we have infinite supply of water. Now since both jugs are full, so this ordered pair initially will be, it will be, yes,
4 and 3.
4 and 3, correct. So initial state is given in the problem itself. So here initial state is 4, 3. In this example, here I have taken start state as 0, 0. So here it is given that both jugs are empty. But if we consider the previous problem, in this problem statement it is given that initially both jugs are full. So here initial state will be 4, 3. This is initial state or start state. Then what is the goal state, or what will be the goal state? What is asked? We want
2 0.
2 gallon water in 4 gallon jug. So 2 gallon water in 4 gallon jug, regardless of water in 3 gallon jug. So this 3 is y, and y will have values. It may be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. So this is final state. Now why y can be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3? The reason is capacity of second jug is 3. So it can contain 0 amount of water or 1 gallon or 2 gallon or 3 gallon. So final states are 2y. So possible final states are now 2 0, or it can be 2 1, or it can be 2 2, or it can be 2 3. So all these are final states. If you get one of this, that will be the solution to the problem. All these final states are also called as solutions or solution state. Right here, what we have written, goal state is 2n for any value of n. Any means this n is representing out here water in 3 gallon jug. So possible values are 0, 1, 2 or 3. Any means either of this. Right? Understood up to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we are up to this point that we have defined goal states, we have defined start states, and we have defined state space. State space means all possible states. So all possible states are basically, what are all possible states for this problem? If you try to define initially, if both are empty, then it will be 0 0. Then other possibilities 0 1, 0 2, 0 3, right? Then this first jug may contain 1 gallon water, 1 0, 1 1, 1 2, 1 3. Other possibility, it may contain 2 gallon water, so 2 0, 2 2, 2 1, that 2 1 is left, 2 1 and 2 3, then 3 0, 3 1, 3 2, 3 3, and it's a 4 gallon jug, so it may contain 4 gallon water also, 4 0, 4 1, 4 2 and 4 3. These are all possible states or state space for the given problem. Now out of this is complete set of states. These are complete set of states. And out of this, you have identified some states as the initial states. So initially, if both jugs are full, so 4-3 will be your initial state or start state, and final state 4-gallon jug will contain 2 gallon of water. So all these are final states, or you may call them goal state, right? So this 3 steps we have completed now. Now fourth step is, let us go back. Define set of rules that describe the actions or operators available. Now in water jug problem, from the problem you can construct set of rules. For example, rule number 1, R1. R1 is a rule something like this, xy such that if x is less than 4, that gives 4y. Now what is xy here? Again come back. X is water in 4-gallon jug and Y is water in 3-gallon jug. Where X is, if this X is less than 4, what is meaning of this? In words, in English language, what is meaning of this? XY, if X is less than 4. Yes? Anybody? X is less than 4 means what? X is less than
4 gallon is completely full.
Completely
Full. Fill.
less than 4. Less than 4 means 4-gallon jug is not filled completely. It may contain 0 gallon water or 1 or 2 or 3. Right? Less than 4 means what? It is not full. It is not full. So if it is not full, if I fill it completely, so that will give me 4y. So this means if 4-gallon jug is not full, if that gives me 4y, that means this step is equivalent to what is meaning of this in words? Meaning of this in words will be fill 4-gallon jug. In simple words, I can say that fill 4-gallon jug. It was not full, so if I want to fill it completely, I will apply this step. Now, precondition for this step is that x should be less than 4. So, if x is less than 4, whatever may be water in 4-gallon jug, you can use a pump also. Not necessary that you will have to use water in 4-gallon jug. 3-gallon jug. You can use a pump and fill this 4-gallon jug separately. So, if x is not filled, if it contains less than 4-gallon water, you can fill it completely by using a pump, and I will call that rule as rule number 1, and rule number 1 says that fill 4-gallon jug. Mathematically, if I have to write, I will write that as xy such that if this x is less than 4, that implies, that gives me 4y. So this is how we define rules, and such a rules are called as production rules. Production in formal languages, we define a production which has left hand side and right hand side. For example, alpha produces beta. So if alpha, then beta. That's what it means. So alpha If it is true, that will give you beta. So these are called as productions in uh, theory of automata or formal language theory. Same concept has been derived here. We are going to define the rules in the same form. Left hand side we have preconditions and the right hand side we will get the result. If I apply this, I will get this as an output. So such a rules, set of rules. For example, out here we have defined rule R1, R2, R3, R4 up to R7 and so on. Around 13 rules are given in your book. So these rules are defined from the problem definition. Similarly, we have rule number 2, xy, if this y is less than 3. So similarly, you can fill 3-gallon jug, fill 3-gallon jug. If water in 3-gallon jug is less than 3, so if y is less than 3, that implies x3. So initially y will be less than 3. After applying this particular step, you will get 3-gallon water in 3-gallon jug. So the way we do that physically, when we solve this problem ourselves, same thing you will have to do on computer in this way. In this way you are going to define the rules, mathematical rules, and these rules can be easily now incorporated into the computer program. You can write a program. That program will contain a condition something like this: if x is less than 4, then you will get 4y, something like that. So this can be easily programmed, and therefore such a set of rules you will have to define in uh, state space representation. Let us come to this rule number 7. What is the interpretation of this xy? Okay, I will uh, remove this first. Come to this R7. Now what R7 says? Xy such that if x plus y is less than or equal to 4. Xy such that if x plus y is less than or equal to 4 and this is and sign, y is greater than 0. If this is the case, if x plus y is less than or equal to 4, that means interpretation of this is water in both jugs, if you add this, if that is less than 4 and second jug that contain, it is not empty, that means second jug is not empty, that contain some water. So if second jug is not empty and first and second jug that contain 4 gallon or less than that water, then x plus y and 0. So meaning of this, that you empty for 3-gallon jug. Now second jug contains 0-gallon water, that means empty this second jug. And this first jug will contain x plus y. What is x plus y? Y was water in 3-gallon jug and x was water in 4-gallon jug. So whatever water was in 4-gallon jug that you have poured in, sorry, water in 3-gallon jug you have poured in 4-gallon jug. So you have added the water in 4 and 3-gallon jug. So 4-gallon jug will contain total water. Earlier it was having x gallon of water, then you have added y gallon of water from second jug. So total of that is x plus y. So because of that second jug will become empty, right? So what is meaning of this? You pour, now in simple words, in what we say, this step is equivalent to that step is equivalent to pour water from 3-gallon jug into 4-gallon jug. This is equivalent to pour water from 3-gallon jug to 4-gallon jug. So that's what we do in our real problem solving process. But if you are doing that on computer, you will be representing that rule in this way. So this is rule number R7. Rule number R7 is pour water from 3-gallon jug to 4-gallon jug. So mathematically you will be defining that in this way, that if x plus y that contain less than 4, why this is required less than 4? Because first jug will always contain at most 4 gallon of water. So if that contain less than 4 gallon of water, right, in that particular case, you can pour water from 3-gallon jug to 4-gallon jug. So 4-gallon jug will contain water, addition of what was water in 4-gallon jug and water in 3-gallon jug. So x plus y. So in simple English language, we say that pour water from 3-gallon jug to 4-gallon jug. So in this way, you will be defining complete set of rules, and that is the last step. So that was your fourth step here, define set of rules. So here for water jug problem, you have defined such a rules, and this completely we call that as the requirement for state space representation. So now why this is required? Let us come to the actual use of this. This you are going to use to solve the problem. Now your initial state, suppose both jugs are empty, so that will be something like this. Now you are going to start with this as an initial state, for example as 0, and your job is to fill 2-gallon water in 4-gallon jug. So now from 0, 0, what are the possibilities? What you are going to do? Your program will find out a rule which can be applied on this current state. So there are two possible rules which you can apply on this current state 0, 0. First rule is you fill 4-gallon jug, and second rule is you fill 3-gallon jug. So if you apply that first rule, that fill 4-gallon jug, suppose I call it R1, and fill 3-gallon jug rule is R2. So after application of R1 you will get 40. After application of R2 you will get 03. So either of this, if you have selected rule number 1, you will get 40. If you have selected rule number 2, then you will get 03. Now check, is it a goal state? No. Second one, no, because goal states we know either 20, 21, 22 or 23. So again find out another rule. Now suppose I have made this as a current state, I have selected rule number 1. You find out a rule which can be applied on this 40. So what are the possible set of rules? One of the rule is 4-3. What is this rule? You fill 3-gallon jug. And another possibility is 1-3. That means you pour water from 4-gallon jug to 3-gallon jug till it fills completely. So in that case you will get 1-3 as a result. And another possibility is you can empty this 4-gallon jug, so you will get the previous state. So that is the third possibility. So I am ignoring that previous state. So these are the two possible states that you will get. So you check whether is it a goal state? No. Is it a goal state? No. So further you will have to proceed. You will have to find out another rule which can be applied on this current state. If suppose R2 is your current state, you have selected rule R2 instead of rule R1, then what are the possible next states? Yes, now tell me. If your current state is 03, now 03 is not a goal state. So next state can be
30.
right, correct. 30. That means the rule is pour water from 3-gallon jug to 4-gallon jug. And another possibility?
4 to 3.
4
and 3, sir.
Correct.
And 3.
Right. You are getting rightly, you are on right track. 4-3. What is this 4-3? That means you fill 4-gallon jug completely. So either if you select this rule, you will get 30. If you select this another rule, you will get 4-3. Check. Is it the goal state? No, they are not goal state. So you proceed further. So in this way, part of state space is shown now in this particular graph. You have started with 0 0, then R1 is selected, so 4 0 you got. So then next states are pole 3 and 1 3. So 1 3 is the current state. From this 1 3 you will get either pole 3 or 0 3 or 1 0 or 4 0. If suppose you have made this 4 0 as a current state, so possible states are again 1 3 and 0 1. If 0 1 is the current state, again proceed further, you will get 4 0 or 0 1 again, same state. Generally such a selection of rule has to be avoided. And again, if you make this 4 0 as a current state, so these are the possible next states, and you proceed further until you reach to the goal state. Now in this case 2 0 has been reached, this 2 3 has made the current state, and you reach to the goal state 2 0. So this is called as state space, complete state space, right? And ultimately this is what problem solving is. And you are going to write a program, computer program for converting your initial state into this final state. This we have done manually, but you will be writing a program algorithm, and then that program will give you the solution, set of states that you will go through, or set of actions that you will have to perform to reach to the goal state. Set of actions means you will your program will give you the set of rules, sequence of rules. Output of your program will be sequence of rules that has to be applied to get the goal state or goal states. So ultimately if you write a program, then you will get multiple solutions immediately, and manually when we solve such a problem, we get one solution at a time. But if you write a program, you will be able to find out multiple solutions. So this is the reason why this state space representation is important, because that will give you the complete foundation how you are going to develop an algorithm for solving that particular problem, right? So understood what state space representation is? Any question on this?
No, sir.
This is the example of water jug problem. Anybody else? Any question, doubt? Now this example is just showing one of the solution. Similarly, you can have multiple solutions. Now what we have to do, there are other problems which are discussed in literature of AI. Simpler problems, most of them are puzzles. These are puzzles. Now what you should do at home, you as a homework, you give state space, try to give state space representation of all these problems. State space representation. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll continue further. So these are some of the AI problems that are discussed in literature of AI. So water jug problem already we have discussed in detail. Similar to this, there are other problems like missionaries and cannibals problem, then game of chess, block world problem, tic-tac-toe game. Already all of us knew this problem. Then 8 puzzle problem, It puzzle also, most of us knew this. Monkey bananas problem. This is a new problem. That I will tell what the problem is. Then Tower of Hanoi is known to us. Then there are crypto arithmetic type of problems. Then there is a well-known problem of traveling salesman problem and problem of breach. So these are some of the problems you will find out in literature of AI. These problems are discussed quite widely. Uh, Missionaries and cannibal problem is also a problem. It's a puzzle. In your childhood, you might have come across this puzzle. This problem says that there is a river and there is a boat, and the carrying capacity of that boat is 2. There is a river, there is a boat, carrying capacity is only 2. There are 3 missionaries and 3 cannibals.
हॅलो सर.
Yes.
सर स्लाइड नाही दिसत आहे.
Okay. Let me check it. Now is it visible?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us discuss that missionaries cannibal again. In missionaries and cannibal problem, there are 3 missionaries and 3 cannibals. Suppose these are cannibals and these are missionaries and cannibals. They are on one side of the river. This is river, and there is a boat. Carrying capacity of this boat is 2. At a time only 2 persons can go. Now what this problem says that you will have to carry all these missionaries and cannibals to the other side of the river. Suppose this is side A and this is side B. So using this boat, all missionaries and cannibals should be carried to side B. How that can be done? There is a condition that at any time t, number of cannibals, they should not be greater than number of missionaries. If that's the case, then cannibals, they eat missionaries. So always that constraint has to be satisfied. That number of cannibals, they should not be greater than number of missionaries. So how this can be done? So you have to make trip. That boat will make trips. Their missionaries and cannibals, they will go sometimes together, sometimes alone. At most 2 persons can go with the boat, and if you go through this boat, somebody else should carry that boat again to the other side. Suppose 2 missionaries first they are going, so M1 and M2, so M1 and M2 will be on this side, but after that either M1 or M2 should carry that boat again to side A, right? So keep in mind this. So how this can be done? You will have to carry all missionaries and cannibals to the other side without missionaries being eaten by the cannibals. Cannibals means man-eaters. So without missionaries being eaten by the cannibal, that is the requirement. This is missionaries and cannibal problem. So what we have to do, you find out state space representation for this missionaries and cannibal problem. If you have to write a program, then that state space representation will be useful. Then chess problem is known. All of us knew this problem. There is a chess board and there are 8 plus 8, 16 plus 16, 16 white pieces and 16 black pieces. 2 players play that game, right? So chess is known to us. Then block wall problem. This is also important problem in AI. In block wall problem, there is a table. On this table, there are blocks of same size. For example, 3 blocks are there. Suppose this is block A, this is block C, and this is block B. There is a robot arm. This robot arm is used to transfer these blocks. So this might be your initial state. Final state might be something like that. You want block A on table, block B on block A, and block C on block B, like this. So this is initial state, start state, and this is goal state. So how this robot arm, you will have to write a program, will convert the start state into the goal state. That is a problem of block world. Understood? Understood block world problem?
Yes, sir.
Then there is a problem of tic-tac-toe. This is known to all of us. Tic-tac-toe, in tic-tac-toe there are 9 squares. 2 players play this game. XO game you say. One player marks X, another player marks O, and the player who makes row column diagonal first wins the game, right? For example, if one of the player has made this diagonal first, so this player will win the game, right? That is tic-tac-toe game. Then another problem is, you will find out, it is discussed, that is 8 puzzle problem. This 8 puzzle also some of you might be knowing. In your childhood you might have come across this. In 8 puzzle there is a board consisting of 9 squares, and there are 8 tiles. On this tiles some numbers or letters may be written. For example, numbers are written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 tiles are there, and one square is kept empty. And these tiles are here put in such a way that you can move tile into the empty square. For example, now this square is empty, so you can move this tile 4 here, or you can move this tile 3 here, right? Now, what is the objective? Objective is you will have to arrange these tiles in some predefined fashion. For example, somebody may ask you that you arrange them in this way: 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So this might be your goal state, and this is start state. So you will have to write a program, you will have to give the sequence of moves, how the tiles will be moved in such a way that you will convert this start state into the goal state. Since there are 8 tiles, this is called as 8 puzzle problem. Instead of tile numbers, here you can have letters, or there may be some uh, picture printed on those tiles, and you have to arrange that picture in correct form, something like that. Similar type of puzzle, right? This is 8 puzzle problem. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then there is a problem called as monkey and bananas. This is little bit different problem. In monkeys and basically this problem is related with knowledge representation in AI, robotics. That's why this problem is important. This problem says that there is a room. In this room, there is a monkey, right? And there is a stick, and there are bananas hanging at the ceiling, right? This is monkey, though it is not looking like a monkey, but it's a monkey. So it's a stick. There is a chair also. Now the problem is uh, you have to answer this question whether monkey can reach bananas. So NLP, natural language processing kind of problem it is. So answer will be either yes or no, something like that. So why this is important? The reason is how you are going to represent such a knowledge in the computer program. That is important. So knowledge representation will play a central role in this particular problem. So if you say yes, so when a monkey will be able to reach banana, so certain preconditions has to be satisfied, like monkey should be hungry and monkey should be intelligent enough in such a way that monkey will pull this chair below this bananas, below this bananas, and then a monkey will climb this chair, take this stick and try to reach to the banana. It will shake this, and in that way monkey will be able to reach the banana, and answer will be yes if you are able to arrange in this particular fashion. So knowledge representation is central part in this problem. This is monkey bananas problem. This problem is given in Patterson's book, Artificial Intelligence and Expert System, designed by Patterson. Monkey bananas problem. All other problems you will get in Rich and Knight's book. Study all these problem definitions from Rich and Knight book. This is first book. All problems you will get, and monkey bananas you will get in this Patterson book. ठीक है? Any difficulty up to this?
No, sir.
Then there is a problem called as Tower of Hanoi. This is also known to us. Tower of Hanoi problem says that there is a pole, 3 poles are there, and there are discs on these poles. They are arranged in a fashion such a way that larger disc is at the bottom and the smallest disc will be at the top. So suppose I name these poles as this is pole A, pole B and pole C. Right. So what this problem says, you will have to arrange these towers, same tower, by moving those discs on pole C in such a way that always there should be a smaller disc on the larger disc. What condition has to be satisfied? That always, for example, if I remove the smaller disc and put it here, then this disc will be at the top. Now I cannot put this disc here on the smaller disc. So either I have to put it here, right? Then this disc will be at the top. Now this disc I cannot put even on this disc as well as this disc. So what I will have to do, I will have to move this smaller disc here, and then this pole B will be empty. Then I will move this disc on this pole B. So in this way, the condition that has to be satisfied always will be smaller disc will be on the larger disc, and your job is to move all the disc on pole A to pole C. This is called as Tower of Hanoi problem. Then next problem is crypto arithmetic problem. This problem is also many of you might be knowing. There are crypto arithmetic puzzles something like this. For example, send plus more is equal to money. If this is given to you, and question is, you will have to find out logic behind this in such a way that you will have to assign digits to the letters. What you will have to do, you will have to assign digits to letters. Assign digits to letters. How many digits are there? Yes. In decimal number.
0, 0 to
0
9.
right. 0 to 9. Correct. So 10
9.
digits are there. So you will have to assign these 10 digits to letters in such a way that no two different letters will be assigned the same digit. So every letter will be assigned with different digits. So at most there will be 10 letters here. In any such a problem you will find out only 10 different letters at most will be given to you. So your job is to assign, you will have to find out which digit is assigned to which letter in such a way that no two different letters will be assigned the same digit. Okay, that means D plus E is equal to Y. That's what it means. So find out what is D, what is E, and what is Y. Such a problems are called as crypto-arithmetic problems. These problems requires lot of thinking. It's a constraint satisfaction problem in different examinations. Also, you might have come across this type of problems, competitive examinations. So, a lot of logical thinking is required to solve such a problem. For example, logic you will have to develop in step-by-step fashion. At most, the maximum value of digit is 9, right? So here, if S is equal to 9, M is suppose 8 at most. So 9 plus 8 is what? 17, right? So maximum division that you will get, that will be 17 or at least plus 1 at most. 18 that means, if there is a carry. So in that particular case, you will find out carry will be only one possibility is there, that is carry will be 1. Only that is the possibility. So therefore M is equal to 1. That can be the starting point. Why? Because if extremely we assume that S is 9 maximum value and M is 8, there is suppose a carry from this side, E plus O is equal to N plus carry 1 out here. So 9 plus 8, 17 plus 1, 18. So 18, that means here 8 and here it will be carry 1. At most carry is 1. There is no other possibility. So therefore M is equal to 1. So what I can do here, I can write that S, we don't know exact values, but at least we know this, S plus M is equal to O and carry 1. C means carry, carry 1. So since carry is 1 out here, therefore M is equal to 1, like this. So such a logic incrementally you will have to develop, and ultimately you will be finding out what is D, what is E, what is Y, right? So this is crypto arithmetic problem. Then there is a problem called as traveling salesman problem. This problem also you will find out in literature. Uh, Everywhere it is discussed because it's a combinatorial type of problem. The problem says that there is a salesman, and this salesman has to visit n cities in such a way that the salesman has to make a round trip and he should not visit a particular city more than once. So every city has to be visited once. Every city will be visited once, right? This is the condition that has to be satisfied, except first and last, except first and last, because salesman has to make a round trip. For example, suppose there are 5 cities. Simplicity, we will assume that their names are A, B, C, D, E, and salesman has to make a round trip. So what are the options? Suppose salesman has started from city D. So salesman suppose has visited C, then salesman may visit B, A or E. Suppose salesman has visited E, then salesman may visit A or B. So suppose salesman has visited A, then after that salesman will visit B and again D, starting city. So round trip salesman has made, that trip is D, C, E, A, B and again D. Now why this is important? You will have to make this trip in reasonable amount of time. Now you want optimal solution, and this problem is a combinatorial problem. Since there are n cities, you will find out there are n factorial solutions. So if n is 10, so how many possible solutions will be 10 factorial? It's a large number. And if number of cities are 25, so 25 factorial solutions will be there. And out of these solutions, you will have to find out the optimal solution. So it's an optimization problem, combinatorial problem. So here we don't need the best solution, you need the feasible solution or the solution which is acceptable. So how to solve this problem on computer? So that is traveling salesman problem. Then there is a problem called as breach. Basically this breach problem, it's a playing card game. Playing card all of you knew. पत्ता माहिती आहे ना सगळ्यांना. So that playing card game is there. Here 4 players play this game. And highly uncertain environment is there. For example, computer will be one of the player when you play this bridge on computer. Another 3 players might be human beings. So your computer program has to be as intelligent as that of humans to win the game. And successfully, if you see the history literature, you will find out that very good programs have been developed to play this bridge game, and computer program has defeated world bridge champion also. So computer program has won the world bridge champion many times. Such a very good program we could build, and this program, bridge program, requires to deal with highly uncertain environment, because computer has to make out what other player, what cards other players they are holding. So a lot of intelligence, you can say, that is required. How you are going to play this game on computer, that is the question. So right now we are interested in what the problem is, only understanding the problem definition. And then second thing is how to define state space representation for this problem, right? So these are some of the problems that it is expected that you should know their definitions, and we should know state space representation. At least you should arrive at very good state space representation for these problems. Any difficulty up to this?
No, sir.
So what you will have to do, you go through all these problem definitions, and at least manually you should know how these problems puzzles are solved, so that you can think of defining state space representation for this problem. Then try to define state space representation for most of these problems at home. This is an assignment, right? So that later on writing computer program is not a big task once we have state space representation for these problems. So this is missionaries and cannibal problem. As I told you that one bank of river there are 3 missionaries and 3 cannibals. There is a boat available that can hold up 2 people, and they would like to use that boat for crossing the river. If the cannibal ever outnumber number of missionaries, when the cannibals, if they are more on either side of the river bank, the missionaries will be get eaten. So cannibals are like demons, right? So how can the boat be used to safely carry all missionaries and cannibals across the river? So give state space representation for this problem. Right. So last topic now in this lecture, that is search algorithm analysis. Now basically uh, whatever we have discussed, state space representation, you will find out that generates a state space something like this. And this problem in artificial intelligence, that is modeled as a search problem, state space search we call it. State space search. Right. What we do, we start with starting state and we search the state space in such a way that you reach to the goal state like this. So basically this problem is a search problem. You can model that problem as a solving this problem means you have to solve this search problem. Right. Therefore search algorithms are important and that is heart of most of the AI programs. And therefore we will be discussing 3 search techniques in this unit 2, and before discussing those search techniques we are going to discuss how you are going to analyze all the search techniques that we will be discussing. Analysis means you will have to compare those search techniques along with certain parameters, and these parameters are, first parameter is time complexity. We very well knew this, that means how much time your program will take in best case, in average case, worst case, or in average case specifically to find out the solution. Right, that is what the time complexity is. We define that in terms of notation, big O notation, order of, right? We define that as a order of, big O notation we use. So whenever we define time complexity, you should define that in terms of the algorithmic complexity, right? Otherwise it will be a machine dependent. If your machine is processor is fast, then it will take less time. If it is a slow processor, it will take more time. So it should not be machine dependent. That's why this time complexity is important. Time complexity is what? Amount of time that your program will take to find out the solution, right? Then what is space complexity of a given algorithm, search algorithm specifically? Yes, anybody?
Counting memory space.
Right. On an average, how much memory space is required at any time? The maximum memory space is required during execution of your program, right? During the execution period of your program, the maximum memory required, that is the space complexity. That also we know. How we define space complexity also we define here. We use big O notation for that in terms of order. Third parameter we are going to use to analyze search algorithm, that is optimality. That is also called as admissibility. In some of the books you will find out this is admissibility. So optimality refers to the ability of your program to find out the least cost solution. Basically it is related with least cost solution. That is optimality, whether your algorithm or search program will give you the result or find out the parameter that you are searching, object that you are searching in optimal amount of time, right? So that is admissibility or optimality parameter. And fourth parameter is completeness. Completeness refers to whether the search algorithm will give you guarantee that, or it will give you guarantee that it will return the solution if it exists. So completeness refers to whether algorithm will return the solution, guaranteedly return the solution if it exists. Right, this is the parameter completeness. Sometimes there might be algorithm, although there is a solution, algorithm may not return the solution. That can be the case. So that we measure that particular behavior of that algorithm in terms of a property called as completeness. So completeness refer to, does that algorithm give you guarantee that it will give you a solution if it exists. So that is completeness parameter. So along with these four parameters, we are going to analyze the search algorithm that we are going to discuss. Again, I am repeating, time complexity refers to amount of time that your algorithm will take to return the solution. So that can be a best case, average case in algorithms you might have discussed, or in worst case. So in general, we refer to the average time complexity. Space complexity refers to amount of space that your algorithm program will take required at any time, maximum amount of space that algorithm requires at any time t during the lifetime execution of that algorithm. Optimality or admissibility refers to the ability of algorithm to return the least cost solution, whether the algorithm is optimal or admissible or not. Sometimes there are algorithms which gives you the solution, but those solutions may not be optimal. So sometimes for some problems you may require optimal solutions. So that's why this parameter is important. And fourth parameter that we are going to use to measure the behavior of algorithm, that is completeness. Completeness refers to, does the algorithm give you guarantee that it will give you a solution if it exists. That is completeness property. Understood? Any difficulty in this analysis, algorithm analysis?
No, sir.
Yes.
So why we have discussed this, the reason is whenever we are going to discuss, for example, we are going to start with a depth first search algorithm. Then after discussing that depth first search algorithm, we'll have to understand that in such a way that you will be able to find out what is its time complexity, what is the space complexity, whether that algorithm is optimal or not, whether it is complete or not. So we should have answers for all this after discussing that algorithm, so that when we are going to study all these algorithms, then you will be knowing behavior of all these algorithms, and whenever there is a problem, you can choose the appropriate search algorithm for the problem that you are solving. In next lecture, we will discuss breadth first search algorithm. Uh, we will analyze that algorithm also. Then we will discuss depth first search algorithm called as DFS, and third algorithm that we will be discussing, that is uh, iterative deepening depth first search algorithm, that is variation of your DFS and BFS, that is iterative deepening DFID algorithm, depth first search algorithm. Okay, so in today's lecture we have discussed state space representation of AI problems, four steps which are generally followed while solving AI problem, then some of the AI problems which are discussed in literature of AI, and then four parameters along with which we are going to analyze search algorithms. Right? Any difficulty up to this in today's lecture?
No, sir.
And this whatever we have discussed today, you will be studying that from first book. For problems, you use Rich and Knight's book, Artificial Intelligence by Rich and Knight, AI problem definitions, state space representation you will get. Sorry, Knight's, Rich and Knight book is Rich and Knight book, Artificial Intelligence by Rich and Knight. That problem, monkey banana problem, that is not given in Rich and Knight book. For that problem, you refer Patterson's book, Artificial Intelligence and Expert System designed by Patterson. In this book, you will get state space representation of this monkey banana problem. And for algorithm analysis also, you can use this Patterson's book. Various parameters along with which you are going to analyze that algorithms. For that purpose also, that is discussed in this Patterson's book, that is not given in Rich and Knight book. So for today's lecture, you use these two books. These books, e-copies are available online also, I think. Rich and Knight is available. Patterson's, I am not sure. But literature is available. Otherwise, I will put, if I get it, on our LMS classroom. So this is what I wanted to cover today. If you have any doubt in today's lecture, before starting next lecture, you ask that. We will first clear your doubts and then we will start search algorithms. Thank you. Join for the next lecture after this.